Hello again, my name is Susie Umbre. I'm a watercolor artist based in Arizona. Welcome to part 2 of this painting in real time of the Superstition Mountains. For those of you just joining us, I recommend taking a look at part 1 as you are coming in about halfway through the process of this painting. You can find the link in the description, or you can click my channel and then click the videos and see it there. With that being said, let's get on with the video. And about here, I am finishing up the foreground a bit with some of the darker tones of the turquoise, ultramarines, and purples. And I'm kind of leaving an area towards the front that is a little path, and you can see that there in white. In my head, this is sort of like the beginning of the Apache Trail. And if you're local to Arizona, you know that the Apache Trail was named after the Native Americans. Right around now, I'm going in with some turquoise and yellow ochre with my flat brush. Although the trail here looks a little bit more like a hiking trail, the actual road itself is non-paved, windy, 40 miles long, all through the Superstition area. And it goes all the way from Tortilla Flat to the Roosevelt Dam. And it's very steep in some areas. There's cliff drop-offs, very few safety barriers, and you can drive your car that direction, but a lot of people kind of avoid it because it's so dangerous. There is a phrase you're going to be catching me say a lot in my videos, and that is to save your whites. Same as you would in a graphite pencil or a charcoal drawing, you're always going to want to plan ahead where your highlights are going to be, especially if you want to do a wash with a medium or dark tone. I did that with the side of the mountain as I did with the saguaros and the palo verde trees on the foreground. What I did differently from the mountain than with the foreground is I used masking fluid, so I could get a crisp edge between the dark middle ground, which is in shadow, and the foreground, so there could be a stark contrast with the cactus. The saguaros and trees aren't white per se, but they do have a light green. Wherever you put white or your most vibrant colors is where you're going to want to have the main focus, which in this case is the mountain. Right in here, I'm going to go in with a calligraphy brush, and I'm just putting in some of the mountains in the distance. And if you look at Arizona mountains in particular, or any Southwest painting, you'll notice that a lot of the off in the distance mountains are sort of a purple kind of color. And the reason why that happens is because we have a very iron-infused dirt, and so there's lots of red. So when the red goes up against the blue of the sky, it looks like a purple color. And during the sunset magic hour, it also tends to be even a pink color or gold color as well. And maybe later on in a future video, I might touch on some of the beautiful sunsets we have here. Our sunsets are amazingly beautiful because of the dust particles that are tossed into the air because of our monsoon season. We have dust storms and powerful gusts of wind that just kind of tear through the territory around July and August. Arizona has 2 monsoon seasons. So two seasons every year with wet water coming from the sky, which is very strange to us. We always joke around saying, "What is this wet stuff coming from the sky?" But the sky is falling. For real though, the seeing rain is always a treat because so just to get this in perspective, the US average for rainfall every year is about 38 inches. And there's also 28 inches of snow per year for most of the United States. But for Arizona gets 9 inches of rain on average per year, and on average also only 0 inches of snow per year. So again, that's, just stressing the point why seeing the soups in just snow-laden with this beautiful white powder was just incredible to see. At some point in my painting process on the mountainside, my camera had shut off, so regrettably I can't show much of it here, but for what is shown, I basically repeated the same method for the whole mountain. I put blue down first to get the shadows. Once that was dry, I went in with a 1/4 inch flat brush in oranges and cadmium reds where the sunlight would be touching. In Alizarine crimson, burnt umber, mixes of those ultramarines for the shadows. Thank you for joining me for part 2. I appreciate you for sticking around to see how this watercolor turned out. If you feel like you learned some helpful tips, I have more coming in the future, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when that next tutorial is published. On the note of tutorials, I'd be happy to take some suggestions into consideration, especially if it covers a subject that you want to learn and haven't seen other YouTubers cover, something that you've never seen them cover. Anything come to mind? Do you have a hard time with reflections, clouds, color mixing, shadows? Something that you find difficult and would love to have some extra guidance on? Comment below with some topics and it would be very likely the next video that I post on the channel.